All right, let's get started. Let me show all the viewers this fucking email I got. Screen share. This is true delusion, and it's an insult that I was, here we go, sent this. Okay. The New York.
Yeah,
Okay, I sent
this
that
is
to you.
truly insane, Zan.
Yeah, this is really concerning. New York graduate
Yeah,
plan spring 2021, so in a couple days. Accept an application. Okay. Do you have a strong passion for the world and its inhabitants and its environment? Duh, motherfucker. I'm Zan Jung. The New York graduate plan is searching for candidates who hope to inspire change. Okay, that's what we need to break this down. So, what do they define as
yeah,
change? Okay, by becoming eco-responsible. Okay, so moving away from carbon, which humans are carbon-based beings, so economic actors of the future. So I know this has
wow.
nothing to do with capitalism, okay? And then conscious of global challenges. So the ones that the ones that the elite are going to lay on us, things like Klaus Schwab's ransomware and this new threat of a virus that's going to make COVID-19 look like a little bitch. Eager to enlighten the world. I wonder what enlighten means. Do the bidding of these people, be their minion through the actions they. I mean, look, you could just this whole thing is unreal. I'm going to scroll through it slowly so people can pause and read. But I mean, this is unreal. What this is: historic opportunity concerning subject model for all youth program. You know what's fun? These people are
Right.
dead serious, and this is probably some beta test. There's, you know what I'm saying? The
Yes,
way they word things
yes.
like you need it.
Test the reaction time. Let's see if we can roll out an initiative and whether there'll be any pushback. Also, the left is really good at pushing the Overton window further to the left. So, of course, introducing some concepts like this and creating dialogue, because they will say, the leftist will say, I'm not afraid to have that conversation, unless it's with one of us, of course, who we're based in facts, reason, and evidence. So
Well,
in that paragraph that you showed
reality. There's two
here,
versions of reality out there in so many words.
yeah, it's astonishing that the New York graduate, the New York University, it is New York University, right? I think it's the University of New
It's
York.
something new. It's something new.
Um,
Front group.
Nonviolence International New York. Sure. All of Wow, nonviolence. I'm sure that worked out really well for them last summer. I guess they missed the summer of love and
What
Chaz and all
about
that.
BLM and
And
Antifa? Like what? Why are they sending someone who is obviously, you see where I lean, okay? Very, very obvious, and a huge advocate of him and peaceful protests. Why would they want to do that? It makes no sense. It's an
peaceful
insult.
protests. Right, nonviolent, right. And by the way, New York, of course, they're going to host this in New York and New York City, because that's the murder capital of the United States right now. Violent crime. I was just watching a report on Newsmax. The increase of violent crime and thuggery in New York City is astonishing right now. The murder rate is right through the roof. So
Really? I
people are
had
being
no idea.
assassinated for no reason,
You're
as they
kidding.
get shot in the back.
You're kidding, Wes. Don't lie. There's
Yeah,
there's
Newsmax has a,
murder over
so
there.
there they are in New York City. They have something to teach us about nonviolence. New York City has something. It's like asking Gandhi for karate lessons. Okay, it's like asking the Pope to show us his Taekwondo moves. It's
He's
incongruous.
showing us
And
his economic moves. This collective.
oh,
Yeah, yeah.
collectivism is what they, okay, it's all, and who doesn't want to live in New York City for the summer? I'm sure that's going to be great. It seems like they might be rationing resources soon. Alexandria Cortez is losing residents of the Bronx. Nobody wants to live in her district anymore, and she may actually lose. Look back to this letter, and I appreciate you showing this, because when we dial down on real data, we can see the propaganda institutes at work. And it's funny, in paragraph 2 of that letter, you see that it's the United Nations Institute of Training and Research, or UNITAR. UNITAR. They always come up with these great acronyms, right? But it's got to be related to COVID-19 in some way, because Davos has said, and Charles Schwab is interested in this too. Like you mentioned,
Yes.
Charles Schwab. That's great, Zan, because you're making the linkages, you're drawing the connections, and
The
your
second I saw
synapses
that,
are
it's the
fired.
fucking UN colors, that baby blue and white. I mean,
Yeah,
this is some
yeah,
recruitment program to fool people that have nothing to do all day, that want a purpose in this acquiescence in this new regime. You know, this is scary. It's on a
yeah.
serious note, instead of being a smart ass and acting like I don't know about murder in New York and acting delighted over this email, it really makes me sick that there are organizations or groups, or even if this is one person, that is that comfortable to send that out. Make sense?
Makes complete sense, Zan. Why would they think that this is a thing that anyone would want to participate with? And really, by the way, why should any of us have to refund their student loans if this is the kind of nonsense that graduate schools are teaching, much less the colleges and universities?
Man, don't get me started. Let me tell
Academy
you,
is doing a buck.
something. Before this whole COVID bullshit, last year when I was in law school in Miami, taking civil procedure, my favorite course, it's the most practical in a non-COVID world. Okay, if you want to actually go to litigate and figure out where venue is and X, Y, and Z, I'm not going to bore everyone with a lecture. However, my professor, first day of class, pulls up his Twitter because he wants everyone to follow him. Okay, and was like, "Oh, by the way, I have Donald Trump blocked," and I was just like, "Mm-hmm." You know, like, of course, when you go to graduate school, this is what they're trying to turn out. You know, of course, I blocked a capitalist guy who made millions, if not billions, and made it, you know, as a wild card, who wrapped himself in the Republican flag. I mean, all the stuff Trump has done. Of course, he hasn't been perfect. He put a mask on his face at one time, and he signed this bill. But I mean, this isn't a purity lesson about Trump. You know, I mean, he's leaps and bounds. You know, he's a goddess among the other, or God among the other candidates. Which mind you, JB, so I don't get, I don't know, censored, because I was scared with our last interview that I uploaded, is still a candidate, or actually not anymore.
Don't forget to tell that story too, about how difficult it was to upload that video and what occurred.
Well, really, to be honest, I wish I could sit here and it just was like a technical difficulty. I didn't realize it like uploaded half the way and then it says it got interrupted. But and it was just weird. I've uploaded 70 something odd videos. Not that I expect anyone to know, but I did, because I'm so paranoid. I did jump the gun, even though it did look, evidence suggested it did look like it got censored. But I literally just hit, started it back up and it went through. So I
never know. Yeah.
I mean, true. I don't know what caused it to not go through, but regardless. Anyway, but yeah, so I've been sitting here running my mouth. Tell me what you got going on. Tell me what you're thinking. Let's talk about the political climate or hunches. Let's look at life through your lens.
Sure. Well, I'm thinking that, like you mentioned Charles Schwab before, and
it's Klaus.
Out with an interesting.
Klaus.
Okay. I thought you meant the investor. Well, there's an interesting new YouTube video about investing after COVID and what that world is going to look like when the recovery is in order. Of course, we know that a United Nations slogan became Biden's campaign. It was a placard on the front of his podium, Build Back Better. And our local mayor of our city has used Build Back Better, and she has a relationship with these,
Well, then she's a Soros agent. She's a plan for
Davos. And actually, some of it's Michael Bloomberg, too, right out of New York City. There's a P.O. box. We could do a whole program on this, but there's a P.O. box in Midtown Manhattan on 34th Street. And it's right across the street from Grand Central Station. It's a real shithole. Like that whole neighborhood, I mean, apart from Rockefeller Center, when you get down there on the Lower East Side, it used to be really beautiful. Think Breakfast at Tiffany's, right? Which is a tragic sort of movie in its way. But New York is not what it was, and it doesn't seem to be able to come back with leaders like Bloomberg, and now this new guy, he's talking about redistributing wealth. Who's the new mayor again? So forgettable. The one with the strange daughter with the
De Blasio.
De Blasio. Such a blasé name, I can't remember it.
This is
He's
never
so
going to go.
blasé. Talking about redistributing wealth. So it's important for them. They have the money. The powerful folks have the money. They need. I was going to say about Michael Bloomberg. He spent $200,000 in our town trying to install a Democrat, attacking the Republican candidate. Out of a PO box in Midtown Manhattan, he spent $200,000 against another Republican candidate. Look, I'm no fan of those two people. They're sort of milquetoast, and one of them crossed over from the Democrat Party to the Republican Party when it was convenient for him. So I get it, but why is a New Yorker wasting his money? That Bloomberg guy, he bought himself a ticket to stand on stage with the other Democrat candidates last summer in the primary process. Exactly one time. They jumped him New York style and kicked his ass off stage. But remember, that primary ended with all the Democrats accusing each other of having cheated. But back to this letter, because this is a tremendous piece of evidence about how they need to acquire young talent. They need to pay 20-somethings to come to graduate school and help them figure out how they're going to pitch to the rest of us in this information war, how they're going to pitch this whole Davos, the Great Reset that Trump was talking about in June. And of course, the goals of United Nations Agenda 20 and 2030, Agenda 21 and 2030 are being implemented as we speak. The U.S. economy is being dulled down, just as our children have been dumbed down by Common Core. So it's all part of an agenda. It's all part of a plan. And they think, oh, you're a paranoid conspiracy theorist, until they look around and they see all the things that we're talking about coming true. And I don't know about you, but I could sure use a spare conspiracy theory if you've got one, Zan,
But
because
they're
all
still
my
caught in a delusion. That's
quote
the
a
thing,
meme.
though. You know,
Yeah.
they could be in a cage in a COVID camp and be like, no, you know, this is the American dream. Blah, blah, blah. I'm telling you that they find a delusion to an excuse. You know, check this
Yes,
out.
sir.
What really alarmed me during Christmas, my brother, who I just got his truck. Okay, he has an F-150 because my truck caught on fire, and he got himself a Subaru. And I was like, okay, I see where this is headed. Oh yeah. So I am. He brings up, just to make conversation. He's like, Zan, you heard about all the minks being killed? I think in Holland or something. I said, actually, yeah, I heard about that a month ago on Ice Age Farmer. And I was like, let me show you. So I pulled out my phone, and he's like, no, and freaked out, and literally, like, with his girlfriend, ran upstairs at my dad's house. And I'm just like looking both ways, like, is he kidding me? He does not want to hear what crazy Zan has to say about anything. And I tried to show him a 7-minute clip of how of this guy Christian who has this channel, Ice Age Farmer, and all he does is follow how our food lines are being cut and sabotaged and turned into GMO, and all this unnecessary euthanization of animals that could provide us with things. But they're starting with these vanity animals that you can't really eat, but you can get fur coats out of. And he was showing in these articles even things Dr. Fauci has said in the past and present with the USDA and the European equivalents, you know, how they're going to kill off that and then make it, you know, outlaw hunting, which I think they already did in Germany, at least swine. And then they're going to start killing, you know, animals that we eat by design, and be like, oh God, they just carry COVID and all these rapid diseases, and just start sabotaging everything. That way we're starving, you know? And my brother
We'll be driven into
ran away.
cities. Communal living is the goal, to have everyone living. No one will have their own yard. No one will have their own
The
standalone
private
home.
property, you know, and they're just they're ignoring everything. And just like when Donald Trump gets relief through the proper legal and constitutional channels, he's right in every facet. I mean, he won the damn election, but he can't gain any traction because no one wants to help him for fear of losing their, I don't want to say credibility, but pseudo credibility, or this new, you know, everyone's jockeying for a new position, and they don't have it made like Donald Trump. They all want their salaries. They all want to have a cush life, and it's sick. I'd give everything. I'd give my life right now if I could save this country and hold off any sort of ism except for capitalism, for another 1,000 years, if not forever. I'd do anything. And I hate that I sit here and I complain behind a fucking desk, okay, with all my fancy shit, which really doesn't mean shit if this world's going to shit. I know I said shit 30 times just now. But, I really want to be an actor instead of an activist. Hence the reason I got involved in politics, went to law school. And it's like, I feel because I can't run, or if I were to practice, I'd have to renew my license and show proof of immuno ID or that I got a vaccine. I mean, these bar associations are making you have to take a fucking COVID shot and show that you're up to date on these boosters and stuff. I'm not making this up. Google it.
That's crazy. So that's actually being instituted right now. That's maddening. So we're hearing that there's going to be enticements and inducements offered to take the COVID. And then we're being told that after that, you'll have to take another booster. And then eventually you'll be fine. But, you're not really going to be.
You have to wear masks. It's a joke. Spain is making a list.
Mask, and you could be reinfected and somebody else. And by the way, here in my town, the mayor announced yesterday morning that she's releasing 3 vaccines. They're going to be rolled out. There's one from Pfizer. There's one from an unnamed company, an unnamed source, and she's been asked in a public meeting what that company's name is. And then the other one, the other company's name, it'll come to me later. It starts with an A. Okay, I can look that up if I need to reference it. I don't want to. But going back to what, like Charles Schwab, in the future, you're not going to own anything and you're going to be happy. They're telling us that you will be happy when you own nothing. So reset the debt, right? And what will our dollar be valued? They also don't want us to have any private property, as you said, to live communally. They want people to be grouped together in communities. And then they're all kind of like housed in these. It's going to look something like Logan's Run, apparently, some science fiction dystopia where we'll all be like living in a communal space.
Huddled around a fire. I mean, they're going to turn us into a third world nation soon.
Exactly. And it's Davos, the Great Reset, and they don't like us talking about it.
Davos
and they don't
is the
like
head
us.
unit. Yep.
Yeah. And they announced their intentions openly toward all these things. And we could cite original source material because you, as a student of law and as a person who understands original source material, as a guy who has had to write research papers and provide evidence, facts, reason.
Everything
right?
stems from something. You can't just drop it.
They don't want us to be discussing these things because we are able to drop this information. And I think it's just a matter of time before they kill the internet completely.
I am right there with you. That's why it's imperative. It's paramount that we crank this kind of shit out ASAP, Rocky, and go in depth and hopefully inspire others to take action and or at least educate themselves through the proper fading away channels. Also, Spain is leading the front by making a list of all the people who are not vaccinated, which I'm sure is coming here. But before you know it, someone like you and I, we're going to be obsolete. We're going to be, I mean, not that the others won't that join the system, but I mean, they'll have their 30 pieces of silver, which is still piss change in the grand scheme of things. But I mean, man, we're going to be, I already accepted the fact, like, I have no place in this future of this acquiescence. It's going to be Mad Max for me. I'm going to have to live. I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do, man. They're going to take
wait till those cool clothes come out. I want to dress like the characters in Mad Max. And when we get that, I was thinking after our last wonderful conversation that we had, and we talked for, I think, about an hour, and it was funny and enjoyable. And I was thinking how I'm a guy who's probably, I'm just guessing, maybe twice your age. After we got off the line, I was thinking, a guy like Zan, he's got his whole life ahead of him. Me, I've got maybe, you look like, I don't know, you're 22 or 25 or
31. But regardless, I don't feel like, since this year, since March, I don't feel that way anymore.
That's I was working toward that because for me, I've had a good life. I've had a great run. I might have 20 years left, unless they give me a pill. I might have 30 years left if I'm really lucky. and abide by the Bible or something and reform myself 150%, right? But I probably have 10 effective years left. I mean, realistically speaking, I'm kind of at that winter, I'm at that fall, I'm in September of my years, right? As the Frank Sinatra song goes.
Yeah.
But you've got this time stretching out ahead of you. And I think for me, I'm glad I'm not I'm glad I'm not your age. I'm glad I'm not a younger man, because to watch all these things go down when you're 20 something and you're going to have no way to own your own home, no way to have a car. You're supposed to use a bus and public transit. You're supposed to do the job that they want you to do, that they pick for you. It's like Aldous Huxley, Brave New World. The education system actually says here, cradle to career. They are handling everything cradle to career. So they're going to decide your outcomes.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
going to have equality of outcomes, and they're going to decide what that looks like for a kid who's 5 years old right now. Wear the mask. Think about how traumatized these
I
children
just think
are.
about my little nephew. I think about all these kids. They're being forced to acquiesce. They're too young to think about this. They can't handle the concepts of evil billionaires that are dominating the world and want these kids to die. I mean, it's such a sick thing happening before our eyes. And it hurts when our leader, who is duly elected and reelected at that, cannot gain
Yes.
any traction through the proper channels. It shows you when the Supreme Court, doesn't even hear the case. It sets the precedent. It's okay, steal, go along with it, be a coward. Of this nation is going to shit anyway. It won't be here much longer, And we're all just stuck. Us humans, we're just stuck in a global plan that is being acquired. We're being absorbed by the UN, and we will be at the mercy of the Davos World Economic Forum and UN leaders and decisions. And what kills me the most is they piss down our back and tell us it's raining. They sell us globalism and communism and all these things like we need it. They make us put the masks on our face like we need it. Oh, you're helping others. Oh, bull fucking shit, motherfucker. I knew this stuff was fucked up the second it came out in March 2020 of this year. It ruined my birthday, boohoo. So many people don't get to live to be 31, but still, I mean, I couldn't go out to eat. And you know me, I love to go out to eat, spend a lot of money with a whole lot of sexy women. And I couldn't do that this year. Boohoo again, you know what I'm saying? So many people have it worse. I'm just saying, like, over what? Over some stupid fucking plan to take over the world? Wait, yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Right. And what does the future of fun look like? These people, these totalitarian, we were talking on the phone about this very fact that totalitarians can't understand humor, and they don't seem to be having any fun. If their potato really won, what are they so worried about? But Donald Trump is the legitimately elected president, and on January 6th, some things will go down. And by the way, you were talking about how people are afraid of losing their stuff when they're their positions, and they're trying to ingratiate themselves with the DFL and the Democrat Party. And these, actually, they're not Democrats anymore. They're, with the Antifa, BLM, and all of that. And they're trying to genuflect and make sure their position is secure. I think they're also afraid of the consequences of leaving that group of people, because they are ruthless, okay? And things tend to explode, and bricks get thrown, and sucker punches are administered. We're not the violent ones. Those guys showed us what they had last summer, and they're frankly not very good at it. But look, this will go down. Trump will be reinstalled, and we'll have a reprieve for 4 more years, and liberal shit will be triggered. And when it happens, just be sure you're close to home and around your loved ones, because they're going to be crying in the streets all over again. When all's said and done, those guys don't have a chance to win. By the way, this whole thing in Memphis, that happened since the last time we talked, right? The Memphis explosions.
Yes.
And then the fire in New York City, where they were printing ballots. Suddenly they're trying to make the machines go away. They're burning the software. They're trying to destroy the hard drives. They're trying to, they can't cover the tracks. There's too much information, and it's not going to work. And I'm hopeful that it pulls people over to our side, the last of the reasonable ones.
No,
And we
again,
need to
like I
welcome
say,
them. We need to welcome those. Once those people get red pilled and
anyone who
black pilled,
wants to get red pilled is welcome. I mean, shit, we need everyone to convert so we can stop this. That's not it, you know. But like I said, there's two versions of reality out there, man. You got people that think Joe Biden is truly a duly elected president. They think that the president elect, the office of the president elect, is a real thing. It's not. And so, I mean, when Donald Trump doesn't leave, you know, and Joe's hosts his virtual deal, which is a slap in our face. I mean, this is what
He's not going anywhere. Trump is going to win this thing, and
Trump already won, but Kamala is going to step up, and they're already gearing for that. Joe is just.
Joe is still his campaign. Joe's staff. By the way, Kamala Harris still hasn't, as of today. What is this? What's today? It's December 30th. Kamala Harris still has not resigned her Senate seat. What's that about? If you're so sure you won. Also, Biden's people are still complaining again that they're not receiving security briefings, and they shouldn't.
Yes.
Being kicked out of the DOD, kicked out of the Defense Department. They're like, nope. NSA, nope. You are a potato. Go back to your basement. Somebody get this guy a puzzle, because then he can look at the colors and put the pieces in the right place, okay? Because the poor guy is falling apart. I had a friend of mine show me some really interesting data yesterday, and I might just want to share this with you, because if you want to get your water from the well before it's been pissed in by CNN and even Fox.
That analogy, I love it.
I'm a storyteller.
I love it.
I'm kind of thinking of Stinky Pete. Somebody pissed in the water in the well or something like that. He always had that from Toy Story. But no, truly, it's a thing. But you kind of primed my pump here. There's another water well analogy, and I can see you're having a good time too, and I am as well, with a little Cabernet Sauvignon.
Yeah. Oh, you sipping cab? Yeah, I got some tequila.
Wait. Oh, tequila.
Yeah.
Excelente.
Sí,
bueno.
No, what brand of cab are you sipping, man? You hitting some Napa or what?
I must say, this is a boxed wine by Franzia.
Oh man,
reliably
banned. Justice.
It's the same way every time. But I used to make my own when I lived overseas, and if I really got going with some, so in Muslim countries you can't always buy alcohol, so you got to make it yourself. So
everyone thinks I know how to make wine. That wasn't part of my course, and I know the process, but that's not something. I know how to drink it. I know the brands. I know how to pair it with food. I can do damn near everything except make my own wine. I'd love to learn about that. What would you do?
That? You just need one of those 5-gallon. Get like a 5-gallon water container. You just need some brewer's yeast, some fruit juice to start with. Choose your fruit juice.
All that sugar.
And and a little bit of sugar. And it's a simple process.
I want wine, Wes. I want oak from Missouri. I'm gonna let it sit for 2 years.
Yeah, this is not fine wine. This is like a step above battery acid. It's a little bit. So, but I want to share with you a website that I think you're going to enjoy, and I think your viewers will enjoy this too. If they want to get real data, check out www.cisa.gov. It's the CISA group. It's a homepage. It's Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. And what you learn, if you go there, you can sign up to receive alerts about what's really happening in terms of cybersecurity. I'm sure your viewers know that not only did this bomb go off, and possibly people are talking about a missile as well, but we had this unusual trailer pull up in Memphis, Tennessee, in front of an AT&T relay station, and it announced that it was going to explode. And it's like giving out warnings. It's warning: if you could leave the area, there will be an explosion.
They ran that backwards, and it says "Merry Christmas," like you're rewinding a. I'm dead ass. On Info today, they were playing it backwards, and it was like "Merry Christmas." I was like, "What the?" I had goosebumps. I was like, "Get the fuck out of here!"
Yeah, Yeah. You reminded me of a little joke. You've heard of Enya, the musician, Enya?
Oh, sail away, sail. I mean, fuck yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
some pastors took her CDs and listened to her CDs, and then they played them backwards. And do you know what they got when they did
Wow.
that?
First off, they have a lot of free time, but no, tell me what they say.
Yeah. When they played Enya's music backwards, they got more Enya music.
I was waiting for something like really in depth. That
Yeah,
was
something.
gonna,
Yeah.
all right. Well, look, I mean, I know you got something
So,
coming up at 1. So with
oh
the
yeah,
last
yeah.
couple of minutes, let wrap things
Right.
up. I've talked the most. Get your points across. Tell me what all you want to put in the bio, and I'll send you the link.
Sure. Everybody, don't lose hope. It's not over. January 6th, if you can't be in DC, take your American flag and go to your city hall. Go to your representative's office building, your congressman's office building, your congresswoman, your mayor's building. If you can't be in DC, go somewhere with your American flag and wave it proudly and hold it up and say, God bless America. Do something. Be peaceful, because we're not those kind of men, but do something to support January 6th. It's going to be big. If you can get a driving crew together on short notice, plan something with a group of friends, bring your trucks, bring your trailers, mount some flags, and bring it. Don't tread on me, right? And thank you, Zan, for having me again.
Oh,
This
get
was a
out of
fun
here.
spur of the moment kind of thing, because it's great. It's great knowing you.
Yeah, no, man, get out of here. Yeah, no, no, of course, of course. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. We're going to sign off.
Because
Okay. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, why did you mention that, Wes?
I just wanted to plug in one final thing about that the CISA website that we mentioned. If you look at the alerts, the alert that they're worried about right now is that our infrastructure, our supply chain has been compromised. And they're not just talking about our supply chain in terms of physical stuff that we get from other parts of the world. Like, they're not talking about stuff on a container ship supply chain. They're actually worried about the concept that perhaps all of our software systems have been compromised. In terms of the hacking that we had going on in this election, the false narrative of Russia, Russia, Russia is bullshit. But this one, it involves numerous countries, and they're concerned that there's software people may have purchased, downloaded, installed, that will be able to control their units. So look at the CISA website, because infrastructure means, hey, if everybody's wondering why the airspace was shut down as well, or you may have heard there was possibly a U.S. plane shot down, or that came down over, say, Michigan, this area of the country. But everybody's talking right now about our supply chain being compromised and what kind of data may be going overseas. So stay frosty, and we'll see you on the other side. When this is all over, we'll get back to hunting and fishing and trying to enjoy our lives and minding our own business. But we're all done with having these lefties tell us which pronouns to use, right?
Yeah.
Done. I don't feel guilty
Hey,
anymore,
man. That's bullshit.
Thanks for letting me ramble, Zan.
You're not rambling, man. All right, man. I'll see you soon.
Thank you.